My name's Stephen Tomlinson, and I'm a tax lawyer based in Christchurch from the firm Tomlinson Law. Well, what the bill proposes to do is to enact a new taxation rule, and under that rule, anybody who buys and sells residential land within 2 years of the date of acquisition will be subject to income tax, irrespective of whether that land was actually acquired for the purpose or intention of disposal. Under the tax bill, taxpayers will be subject to income tax on the sale of residential land if it's sold within 2 years of the date of acquisition, irrespective of the reasons why that land was acquired in the first place. There is an exception for the main home, and there are also exceptions for relationship property transfers and transfers on death, but the reason why the property was acquired in the first place will no longer be relevant. So if you did acquire property for a long-term investment purpose and your circumstances changed, for example, it may have been a family situation, a financial situation, or something like that, that doesn't matter. You'll still be subject to tax on the sale of that family batch or that long-term residential investment property. The Law Society doesn't agree with this proposed reform. Basically, this reform is to be enacted to catch speculators who are not currently paying their fair share of tax. But what we think will be the case is that those speculators will simply change their behaviour so they won't be caught by this 2-year bright line test. Rather, the people that are more likely to be caught are those persons who genuinely intended to hold that property for long-term investment purposes, but whose circumstances changed. In our view, and Treasury figures back this up, that this new tax is unlikely to generate much additional revenue, and the revenue that it does generate will be from people who aren't targeted by this bill. The consultation process for this bill seems to be extremely short. I appreciate that we're all aware that this reform was likely to happen since the budget announcement, but the period for consultation is ridiculously short. There was only a little over a week for people to get their submissions together to go to the Select Committee, and it's not going to affect the enactment date of the legislation. There's no chance that this legislation will be enacted by 1 October when it takes effect, so it will be retrospective in any event. So the Law Society's view is that there needs to be proper consultation on this bill to ensure that it is drafted appropriately and is fit for purpose.